There are two things that I'd like to do in this project. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, and I would like to speak to you about the value of memories. So if you have a few minutes, pull up a chair and hear a little bit of my story. Some of you may already know this about me, but when I first moved to New York State, I spent a few years in the Catskill Mountains. They were good years for me. They were the kind of years that I now recall with fondness. Nearly a decade ago, when I moved away from the Catskills, I left there resolved to go back and visit at least once a year. Now, admittedly, my initial reason for returning, well, it had a fair amount to do with the good sources of protein that are available there. But over the years, I began to realize that hunting was only one of the reasons I went back. To put it simply, I kept going back because of the memories that those mountains held for me in a very real way. I kept returning because, well, they kept inviting me back. You see, when I make my annual return to the Catskills, it's to awaken something inside of me that otherwise lies dormant. Yeah, I revive old friendships and I visit the old familiar places. And I find that the forest and creeks, the rocky hillsides, they remain impervious to the passing of years. And they always welcome me back with the same warmth. I can walk through a high meadow and look out upon the mountains that I have now come to regard as old friends. But you see, it's more than just the mountains. It's also the people who call this place their home. Take, for instance, my friend Delana, who now lies beneath an old apple tree. I visited her grave recently and found a little wooden cross there, beneath a layer of leaves and debris. I uncovered it and propped it against the tree. Or what about my old friend Norman? These days, his giddy up is a little less giddy, but he's as salty as ever. Recently, one of his bowls kicked him in the knee, so his step has a bit of a hitch in it. But in the evening, when I make a trip to the barn with him, it is just the same as it has always been. The groaning sound of an old milking machine, or the racket of a barn full of hungry livestock. The various rattling, scraping, and jostling sounds that accompany chore time. The old barn is starting to look a lot like Norman himself, a little weathered. Nevertheless, it stands as tall as ever. Let me put it like this. Memories are a lot like the little bits and pieces of life that we pick up along the way, carefully woven together and very gently handled. We take comfort in them. Sometimes we even find refuge in them. And more often than not, it's the simple things that make the best memories. Like a hot cup of coffee or a stack of pancakes at Sue's kitchen table, or the old gambrel swaying in the breeze. Or maybe it's just the simple way that the sun slowly sinks into a skyline rimmed with mountains. Yes, indeed, these are part of my memories, and they're priceless to me. And I could go on for quite a while, but enough of this for now. I'm probably beginning to sound like a sentimental old fool. So let me wrap this up with a very simple piece of advice. No matter your circumstances, no matter your allotment in life, find something to cherish. Find a people to love or a place that speaks to your heart. Store up some memories of your own. I promise you won't regret it. Until next time, keep your heart open. Keep your eyes wide. Stay alert, my friends. Stay alert.